Welcome to the Radical Job Shop Show.
We're leaders of some of America's most vital and under-the-radar small businesses go deep and get gritty about what it takes to build a bold, profitable, and impactful shop. I'm your host, Emily Joanne Wilkins, founder of Marketing Metal, the anti-agency that helps machine shops, fabricators, and custom equipment builders craft a radical brand that leaves behind a legacy. I'm excited to share this next interview with longtime friend Chris Braniecki, co-owner of IQ Manufacturing, and a shining example of what it means to be a radical job shop leader.
Chris shares one secret to his success: doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing or telling you to do. I can certainly relate. And if you're listening, I bet you can too. This is the Radical Job Shop Show. So tell me a little bit about IQ. When did you start? All that.
Yeah, so actually, the story's kind of interesting. Me and my business partner were drinking at his sister's wedding, and he had an idea of a tennis ball machine and asked me if I could make a tennis ball machine to throw a ball straight up in the air for a serve. And I've never played tennis, except for once in 5th grade with George Luger or whatever. So I never played tennis, but he's like, I play baseball, and he's like, like a pitching machine. I go, don't they have those? He goes, yeah, but not to throw the ball straight up to serve. Like they have them to shoot at you.
Right.
He says, can you make me a machine to do that? I had some ideas. I go, yeah, sure. We were talking. Then eventually we started a company, and I want to say 11 prototypes went by. And then I ended up making this machine called Ball Frog, and it'll throw the ball up straight in the air so you can practice your serve, your overhead serve.
Yeah.
To try and separate the mechanics of throwing it up yourself and then hitting. You just focus on the stroke of your overhand, striking the ball. So we made a machine. The machine weighs like 84 pounds. It's heavy. And I said to my business partner, well, if we want to lighten it up, we need to look at polymers or plastics. And I have an injection tooling background, so I know a lot of people in the industry, and I talked to them and say, hey, can we go get some quotes to make some tooling? So I go do that, and I'm like, oh, okay, I could have bought a house for this. So I joked to him, yeah, dude, we're going to have to spend, X amount of dollars if we want to do this. And it was a lot of money. I said, for that much money, we can start our own machine shop. And he goes, really? I go, yeah. So then me and him talked a little bit, and I've always wanted to own my own shop. So then I was like, screw it, I'm going to own my own shop. And then he's like, yeah, okay. So I cashed in my 401k, start my own shop. That's probably why I'm getting divorced. But anyways, this is 10 years ago. We started out in a little barn, and we had one machine. And then 4 months later, we bought 2 machines. And then after a year, we moved out of the barn into 3,500 square foot space down the road. We ended up getting 5 machines in that space. Then we moved into the space we're in now, which was awesome because it was right before COVID that we take on a massive new lease.
Right.
So it was right before COVID. So that worked out great.
It did.
Eventually it did, yeah. It actually allowed us to get more space for cheaper and stuff. So there's some utility in it. But so now we have 20 CNCs and 25 employees. We run 7 days a week. We have 2 shifts. It kind of started by accident almost. So we have a patent on a tennis ball machine that we don't really do anything with because we got so tied up to running the machine shop business that we don't have time to do the other thing. We keep saying we're going to get back to it. Eventually we will. That's how we got started.
Okay.
And we do all kinds of stuff. We're aerospace defense. We do a lot of automotive prototyping because we have all kinds of certifications. We're AS9100, ISO 9001, JCP Enhanced, CMMC Level 2 cybersecurity, and ITAR. So we can do anything for aerospace defense.
JCP?
Like a joint certification between U.S. and Canadian militaries. You can look at private top secret documents or secret documents. They're not top secret, secret. We can make stuff for the military that goes to Canada or the U.S.
Okay.
There's a lot of collaboration in the 2 militaries. A lot of people don't realize that as much. Due to our certifications, we can work in a lot of different spaces. And my dad, I'm a 4th generation shop rat, so my dad is a tool and die maker. My grandfather was a tool and die maker, but my great-grandfathers on both sides, on my dad's side, one was a welder that immigrated from Germany, the other was a tool and die machinist from Poland. I'm a shop rat, genetically, but also I've always seen there's no rhyme or reason why aerospace will be busy or molds and dies will be busy or automotive or defense and the other ones aren't. There's never any rhyme or reason to it. For years, my dad was in tool and die stamping and I was in injection tooling, both automotive products, and they would be swamped and we would be dead or vice versa.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just me. It'd be a bunch of the shops I know from other friends and stuff. So we decided like, okay, we need to have like 7 silos of work. 'Cause we're a job shop. You have to get the peaks. Like there's a job gets released, it gets kicked out. You got to get all the work while there's released, then it drops back down. So like if we work in a bunch of different industries, then we can stay busy. It helps deal with the biggest downside of going out of business is like, just stay busy. If you're busy most of the time, even if you have break even months or whatever, you're punting the ball down the road and you're keeping your staff together so you can get more projects.
Yeah.
You have to have a lot more skilled staff. It's a lot harder.
Yeah.
Because like you have a guys that come in, the mold guys come in or the die guys come in, they think they know a lot, but they don't know aerospace stuff. They don't know the defense stuff.
Right.
We do a lot of stuff for the low Earth orbit vehicles. That's a new thing lately. So we're doing a lot of that stuff too. Our goal is like, if we stay busy all year round, keep our staff together, you know, money will come at the end of the year. I learned if you stay busy all the time, there'll be a profit. Like you'll be okay.
Yes.
Because like usually there's just feast or famine. You're either making a lot or dead, or making a lot or dead. I just saw that my whole life, and I'm like, I don't want to have my business be that way. I want to make it like we don't have to worry about going out of business every other month.
Yeah, that's obviously a major reason for your success. What else do you attribute to the success of your business?
We try to do stuff different than everybody else. Like if we go into a room and 9 guys tell us stuff, if like 9 people tell us stuff, I'm like definitely not going to do it. When I see trends or whatever, I try to stay away from them. It's like, that's not going to go well. And I figure like I have low confidence in how intelligent general society is. So if the whole group thinks it's a good idea, it's probably not a good idea. I'm a big believer in following experts, like experts who study shit their whole life. I try and rely on experts. We take a lot of outside opinions. Most shops, it's like, this is the owner's way. Our IQ way is an amalgamation of everybody's ideas in the shop.
Yeah.
If you have a better way of doing it, that's fine. We'll change our system.
Yeah.
But everybody's going to do that system.
Yeah.
It's not going to be 20 people in business for themselves or 25 people in business for themselves. I have a saying, and Haley doesn't like when I say it all the time, but I feel if I got rid of all the guys that are 5'6" to 5'8" with inferiority complexes, it'd be hard to staff this industry. So because of everybody's frail egos, they don't want to admit when they're wrong, which you can ask.
Totally.
You can ask my staff. I admit when I mess shit up all the time, like, oh, I fucked that up.
Yeah.
I tell my guys, they're like, hey, dude, you only have this many hours to quote something. They'll be like, you only quote us for 20 hours? I'm like, yeah, I fucked that up. I just tell them right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Because I want to lower the bar to admit, like, you made a mistake. You're not going to get killed. You're not going to get screamed at. It's not the end of the world. You're going to make mistakes. Now, if you make the same mistake repetitively, then I'll start to get mad.
Yes.
But we're all going to mess stuff up.
Right.
And, you know, when you're quoting, you're just taking an educated guess often at prototyping. You're like, yeah, I think that's going to take 40 hours.
Right.
And sometimes it takes 60.
Yeah.
And you're like, oops.
Oops. Yep.
In a competitive market, you never guess 40 and it takes 6. It doesn't go that way.
No.
You guess 40 and it takes 60, but it doesn't go where you're like, oh yeah, I got a lot of money in that one. I try to get everybody to calm down and just realize like, yeah, you can mess it up and it's not the end of the world. We're doing custom manufacturing. Like that part you're making, no one's ever made.
Right.
It might not go great.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, if you're making the same mistakes, then I start to get really pissed. Because that is the definition of stupid. You're repeating the same error over and over and over.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of our trade, the owners are the same way. This is how I do it, and this is the way we do it. And we've always done it this way. It's like, yeah, okay, well, shit's changed since 1976, motherfucker. The only constant is like, shit's going to change. So why are you not changing constantly? If you look at our top customers every year, out of the 10 years we've been in business, it's probably 6 different customers. We still do work for all those customers, but it's just like, you know, goes up and down. It's not like we're overly reliant on one customer generally.
Right. Yeah.
That means, hey, you're doing a lot of this type of work one year, a lot of automotive prototype. Next year, you're doing a lot of fabrication. And the next year, we're doing all this like aerospace 5-axis work or whatever. We've added a lot of larger machines recently. So now we're doing a lot of large frame stuff, like 3-meter parts and 2-meter parts.
You had some monster machines delivered recently, right?
Yes, we do. Getting into more and more large stuff. Try to find areas. So like if other people are like, hey, we don't like machining X or Y, well, we want to machine X and Y.
Yeah.
Because I know if like you're soft about it and you're being wimpy and scared of it, then there'll be 7 other guys that are soft and wimpy about it, which means I only really got to compete with 2 guys, not 10 guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a funny thing because we'll hear like, oh man, we can't find anybody to do these parts all the time. Then all of a sudden, that's one of the things we do for that customer.
Yep.
And the general stuff that a lot of other people really like to do, we don't even do that for them because they have 7 people to do it.
Right.
And when you sit in an RFQ and you have 7 names on it, it's like the only way I'm getting it is if I fuck up the quote.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not interested in that.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in like the race to the bottom. You're looking for customers you can partner with and like, I solve a hard problem you can't solve. You pay me a fair rate for it. That's the whole idea behind capitalism.
Chris, what motivates you?
What motivates me? Not being broke. I don't know. I like solving problems. I do like solving problems. I like when our customers come and say like, hey, we can't figure out how to do this. And then like we make the part. That's very satisfying.
Yeah.
It's even more satisfying when they ask how we did it and I get to tell them no after. That's even more fun. It's like, no, I'm not telling you how I did this. You literally told me you didn't know how to do it. Why would I tell you how to do it? You don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
I like building a business. I like working for myself. I never did great working for other people.
Yeah, no.
I get it. Like everybody wants their own business ran their own way. Sometimes people can clash with that. I do think there's a ton of horse shit going around right now in this country that everybody should be entrepreneurs. It's a brutal lifestyle. It's not good
brutal,
for people. You have to just enjoy the lifestyle.
Yeah.
You have to be like, this is part of your lifestyle, and I work a lot, and you have to do something you like. You have to like the people you work with, and then it's not as bad. Then the clock punchers who kind of hate their job can't understand why you'll work 70 or 80 hours a week. It's like, yeah, but I hang out with a bunch of people I like, and I do a bunch of stuff I like to do. While it is work technically, it's not draining, exhausting work. It's rewarding work. Where like a lot of people are punching a clock, you know, I think the stat's like 75% or whatever, don't like their job. You're miserable as shit at your job. I'm not. I'm happy with what I do. I want to do more of it. I'm not bothered by it. If I find a way to like get paid to go deer hunting or something, I would do that instead, but I can't. So a lot of my guys appreciate because I'm like very honest and open with them about where we're at in business, or if we lose a bunch of money, I tell them like, hey dude, that mess up cost $7,500. Like a lot of bosses don't want to share numbers and whatever. I fundamentally disagree on that front because I think people need to know like that thing you cost is like somebody's month's salary, right? Like that big problem we had, that could cost somebody their job. It is get them to take a little serious. And even when we scrap a part and I have like, hey, ask Haley to show them how much that part costs. Like, yeah, that was $4,000 of material or whatever. You know what I mean? It's not like there's mess ups all the time, but when 10 years of business, you're going to bump into some stuff that doesn't go well. So you just try and convey to your team what's, you know, good. Then I've also learned lately that just because somebody's really talented doesn't mean they're a good employee. Like if they're not a team player,
like us, we're terrible employees.
If they're not a team player, they're not going to be a useful tool. Everybody's not pulling in the same direction. You know what I mean?
Totally.
We've gotten rid of a bunch of the people that were very talented that didn't want to follow along or learn or change. Well, I don't want to learn that new thing. Well, I'm sorry. It's your job.
Sorry.
You have a very good job. You make more than the average American. Like, sorry. So you're going to learn something new. I went to school. Oh, Jesus Christ. You know how much more shit I've learned since I've been out of school? I've learned more in the last 10 years than I, like, all the rest of my life before that combined.
For sure. Yeah. What are you working towards? What are your big goals right now?
Add more shifts because, like, while we do run as 2 shifts now and we're open 7 days a week, we technically have our night shift works like they work Sundays through Thursdays. So our Friday and Saturday nights, we don't have a night shift. But then like our days work Monday to Saturday. We're going to look to have 2 night shifts where we'll have 1 night shift work from like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then an 8 on Wednesday. And then the next night shift will work an 8 on Wednesday and then 3 12s. So we have full coverage 7 days a week because we specialize in quick turnaround projects and overflow work. We're just trying to reduce our lead times. We're also trying to weed out all the clock pounders, like the old school guys that are like, I want to work 70 hours a week. Yeah, so I want a guy that's just like less productive and that costs more. No, that's not my business model. I want people that want like a good work-life balance. And because a lot of guys can't understand that when you like are working a lot of hours, your lifestyle is a lot more expensive. Like you eat out more, you can't cut your own grass. Oh, you got to change your oil. You can't do it yourself. You're paying people a lot. Then the other thing is you don't have the entrepreneurial luxury. I know it sounds like I'm talking both sides of my mouth here, but I'm not. When you work for yourself, you're like, oh, I can go schedule X and Y. You can mix your schedule around. When you punch a clock and this is your shift, you don't have that flexibility.
Right. Yeah.
And unfortunately for most people who are shift workers, like all the stuff you need to do, your banking and your medical
all
and whatever.
during that shift.
It's all during that shift.
Or when you're sleeping.
You're sleeping. Yeah. We're trying to expand that and continue to build our company. We want to continue to be like, do more turnkey projects, more and more stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's really where we found like we can be a separator, do really complicated parts that have a bunch of outside processes and inspections and stuff. That's what we're trying to focus on. Trying to get away from the lowest common denominator work. Like, hey, you're competing with a guy in his barn. It's like, no problem. I was that guy, so I'm not judging it. I'm just saying.
You don't need to go after it.
I don't need to go after the work that's not paying that much.
Right.
You know? Because like a big problem in our trade is guys don't value themselves, then they don't understand like, why the trade doesn't want to pay. Like my customer doesn't want to pay me anymore. It's like, yeah, but they know you don't value yourself. So like, then you're going to get, taken advantage of.
They're the same problem in marketing.
Oh, your industry has it worse.
Worse, much worse.
Yeah,
yes.
because you have a bunch of pick me people.
Oh yeah.
They want the attention.
Oh yeah.
Rather than just like their business succeeding, they're like, pick me, pick me, pick me. Instead of just being like, nope, I offer this. I can get you this many views. I can get you this. Yeah, no.
Yep.
I've seen that.
It is very prevalent.
You just have to have confidence. No, I offer value.
Yep.
Let me explain to you why I offer value. And then you make the investment or not. Otherwise, shut the fuck up and leave me alone. Because people feel that. You ooze that weakness. And a lot of these guys that are doing business, they get off on taking advantage of people. That's the whole thing. They're making deals all the time. You can feel when some people are like full of shit about their fake numbers or their fake stuff.
Yeah. My business coach says desperation is a stinky cologne.
It does. Absolutely
Totally.
It does. And then what happens is when you see somebody really desperate, you're like, I wonder if this activity's real. You know what I mean? Or how much have you done with that client? Or is that just your friend doing you a favor or whatever? Right. You just start to like look at it. I know what a post should get and not. And I have a pretty large following and I'll put a post up and I know which topics will do well or not. But like me ranting about shit that people don't want to hear about doesn't do well. But like, I don't care. I know I'm right and everybody else is wrong. But no, but the funny thing is when you see people and they're like, oh, I have 40,000 followers and they make a post and they got like 4 likes.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you got like 4 interactions. Yeah. Like the mathematical probability that that's accurate is like.
I have a pretty small audience, but it's very targeted and very
and that's
engaged.
the thing is like people can look at that top 9 lumber and get confused. There's a guy that just got busted last week. He's a political guy, Benny Johnson. All of a sudden, like for 2 months, he added like 2 million subscribers to YouTube, but his views are static.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know why people think you can fool people. People are pretty sophisticated on that now. If you add 100,000 subscribers, you should see about this much engagement.
Right.
And then that's where the value is. If you add 5,000, like, let's be honest, 5,000 targeted, very specific followers are more valuable than 100,000, like, irrelevant, not trade related, and it's like, laughing at me bitching about some bear video or whatever that aren't affiliated with our trade. That comes that inferiority of like, no, I am offering value, and like, you can't get stuck in the fancy paint job on the front end. Oh, look at all these subscribers.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't have all the subscribers and everything and just get tied up in that.
Yeah. Vanity metrics.
Yeah, vanity metrics.
Is it actually getting you business? Is it getting you the right kind of business?
The thing for us, I would say that like that we get the most out of it. We have gotten customers, same with our website. You've gotten customers, some big ones too, some really big ones. People go to apply to our company and there's a bunch of information to find out about our company instead of just the normal company website.
Right.
Like people will come in for an interview and they'll know a whole bunch about my company that I don't have to explain to them and they want to be there, right? So that like really helps.
You weed out the people that are not serious.
And then vendors coming in will people approach that I would never know about.
Right.
And it might be a small boutique somebody, but then because they can reach out to Haley or myself through LinkedIn or whatever, like it gets that barrier to entry down. Because like somebody just cold calls and knocks on the door that doesn't know anything about me, they're going to get a rough time. I'm going to give them a very difficult time. I don't want to talk to you. There's a sign on the front door that says like, we don't take walk-up appointments, but people still do it. And I just think like, fine, walk up to the door, see the thing and try and schedule something. So the social things help us in different ways. You know, brand awareness is one thing, even the vendors and some customers, but I would say like honestly employees is a big thing. It also sends a social cue that like you're not about to go out of business if you're spending a bunch of money on marketing. And it's weird because there's that stuff in your subconscious that like, how do you have money for how do you have money to have staff to do that? It's like, how do you not? You're doing your business wrong then.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not marketing your business and then you wonder why you don't have any customers. I don't know why your customer base is atrophied.
Why is it so hard for you to find people?
Yeah. Why can't you find people? It's like, oh, no one knows who you are. Yeah.
Why can't you find talent?
So there's all those things, you know.
Chris, pleasure as always.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for stopping in.
Anytime.
Appreciate it. I'm glad you showed up.